Hi everyone, this is Miss Snook and I'm going to show you how to do your topographic map for your lab. What you're looking at right now is a really big piece of graph paper that I have taped up to a closet door, and of course I don't expect you to have a big piece of graph paper like this, but you can use lined paper or unlined paper, or if you have regular size graph paper, feel free to use that. And what I've done on this graph paper is I have made a mark that with a ruler that starts at the bottom of the graph and goes up here. And this is my vertical scale for my topographic map. I'm starting at 0 and each increment is 50. Because the directions for your lab say to make your increments 50 meters apart. So it goes 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500 for what I'm going to make a topographic map out of. And what I am going to make my topographic map island is going to be out of a roller skate. Alright, so let me just make sure I have enough. It looks like I need to go up a little bit further for my little roller skate island. So I'm going up to 650 on my scale. Now what you're required to do is to just draw an island of some shape here, and it doesn't need to be complicated. It just needs to be an island, and you're going to be drawing some contour lines on it to show the elevations of different features on the island, like mountains or valleys. And you also have to include a stream, and you don't have to worry about the bay unless you already did it. You don't have to worry about the bay. So basically the way that a topographic map works is the map part, the part that I'm going to draw up here, is what you would see when you are looking down at the object from the sky. So pretend you're up in an airplane and you're flying over the ocean and you see an island that looks like this. Okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attempt to draw something in the shape of this roller skate as if I am looking at it from the sky. And I'm just doing a crude drawing. It doesn't need to be perfect at all. Okay, and that's the way my island is going to look from the sky, as if I'm in an airplane looking down at my island. Now obviously this roller skate is three-dimensional, and so I have to include some contour lines on the map to show where the different elevations of the roller skate are. So let me move the camera up here. So you totally missed that part. Sorry, I goofed. But there's the roller skate that I drew up on my graph paper. And that is the shape of the island that we're going to be working with for today. So all I did was I took my roller skate and put it like this and just made a crude drawing on my graph paper to show the general outline of this island that I'm going to make. Now, this part of the roller skate obviously is taller than the rest of it. And so I need to show some contour lines that show that this is going up in elevation like a mountain. So I'm going to add some contour lines here. And each one of these contour lines is going to represent a different elevation. And I already know that the top of my roller skate is quite high. It's at 650. So I'm going to make this middle contour line worth 650 and work backwards. So 600, 550, 500, okay? And that's going to show how it went up in this area. Now down here, where the wheels would be, is actually going to be lower than the rest of this part. And my wheels are only going to be about 100. Then I have the rest of the roller skate over here working around from this area, this direction. And the roller skate, it's pretty flat. There's not much going on. But there is this like flap on both sides of the roller skates. One right here and one right here. That's a little bit higher than this middle part. And so I'm going to draw some contour lines to show that. It's not much higher, so this would be, towards the middle is going to be the highest part. So that's going to be about 500. This will be 450 going down. So it's going to show a little slope in my roller skate. And then I'm just going to stop it here. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Then I have this strap going across my roller skate that is a little bit higher than this rest of this area. So I'm going to make this 550 to show that it's higher. I'm just writing the numbers on there. And then my roller skate comes back out and we have this area right here that's going to be the same as right here. So the top line going around is going to be 450 because that's lower, and then 500 in the middle. Okay, and then we have the wheel again over here. I'm going to make that the same as before. And then we have the stopper thing, this little brake, and that actually goes down towards the ground. So this part is going to be the lowest part next to the wheels. So I'm going to make this line right here worth 150. That means that this line will be 200, this line will be 250, this line will be 300, and this line will be 400. Now this drawing is very complicated the way I have done it, and I'll show you what you can do in just a moment, but I just want to show you can do this with any object, any three-dimensional object. So, now what do? Well, starting with a ruler, you're going to draw a line anywhere in your drawing, okay? Anywhere where you want to draw the profile. I'm going to try and draw the entire roller skate, so I am going to draw a line right through the middle of my roller skate. And I'm going to use this line to match up with my graph down here. So I'm going to move the camera back a little bit so that we can see the whole thing, what I'm doing. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to come to the first contour line, which is the edge of my roller skate. And I'm going to, this says 100, so I'm going to find 100 down here, and I'm going to take my ruler and draw a line all the way down to 100 from that point. Then I'm going to go to the next contour line, and this one's at 150. I'm going to take my ruler and draw it down to 150. And the next contour line's at 200. You see what's happening here? We're getting the shape of the side view of the roller skate already. This is what this is right here, as if we're looking at the roller skate from the side view. So we're going from a flat view, looking at it from on top, to a side view, looking at its profile. The next one is 250. And the next one is 300. And the next one, whoops, I made 400 instead of 350, but that's okay. It's alright. It could be a really steep stopper on my roller skate. So the next part is this part of the roller skate, and the next line that we're going to come to is the 450 mark. And I already did that, so we're going to do the 500 mark here. And this is going to start going in this direction. And it's 500 all the way to here. So we're going to draw our 500 line all the way across to here. When we get to here, it goes up to 550. And it's going to be 550 for about an inch. And then it goes back down to 500 again, right here. And it's 500 from here to here. Alright, now we're going to start working our way up the side of the boot of the roller skate. So right now we're at this point in our drawing, and we're going to start working our way up the boot of the roller skate so that when we draw it, it'll look like this. So our first contour line right here. The next one's going to be at 500. Alright. The next one's going to be at 550. The next one's going to be at 600. The next one's going to be at 650. And then it's 650 from here to here. Then we're going to go back down the other side of the boot. It's getting lower. And if we connect these dots, you can see we kind of have the side view of our skate. So, if I hold this up, we can see that I have drawn the profile of this roller skate. We took it from being this direction and we turned it to the profile doing it this direction. And this is the island that we're going to work with for our little experiment. And if you want, you can make your island have a bottom. Oops. Just to make it nice and neat. Okay? So what these contour lines show you is different elevations of whatever mass, land mass you're going to be looking at or creating for your lab. So in your lab, what you could do is draw a simplified version of an island. You don't have to get all crazy with a roller skate island. You can just draw a circle and create whatever feature for your mountain that you want. Alright, so when you're doing your lab, you just very simply need to draw an island. It can be any shape you want. So if I drew an island like this, and let's say I wanted to have a mountain range up here, so I'm going to start drawing contour lines that are going to represent going up the mountain. So each one of these contour lines is going to get steeper and steeper. So let's pretend I started this at 100. The next one in would be 150. The next one in would be 200. The next one in would be 250, all the way up to 300. And then as I'm working my way back down the other side of the mountain, it's going to get steeper in this direction because it's a mountain, okay? You also can have a mountain anywhere else on this picture. So if you wanted to have another mountain here, you would draw your contour lines to show this mountain here. And again, you could start this one at 50, and this would go to 100, 150, all the way up to 200. So this mountain would be shorter than this mountain. If you were to take this island and flip it on its side to see what it looks like from its profile, you would see this mountain is higher. So let me show you what that looks like when you're drawing your profile. I'm going to draw my straight line this way so that we can see the different heights of these mountains. And down here, I'm going to draw my graph. And remember, we want it in 50-meter increments. So from 50 to 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350. And I don't think we have to go any higher than that because our mountains aren't that tall. So what you do is, and you can actually bring this down to 0, because down here would be 0. And so where your contour line starts, where your line going across starts, you're going to draw a line to where it measures on your graph. So this is 0, and it's 0 all the way until you get to here. So here it's going to be at 50, here it's going to be at 100, here it's going to be at 150, and the closer the contour lines are to each other, the steeper you're getting. Then over here, it's going to be 150. We're going back down the mountain, so this is going to be 100. This is going to be 50. And then when you get to the bottom, you'll be back at 0. So when you connect these dots, you're going to see this little mountain that you drew on your island from its sideway view. This is what it looks like from the air, and this is what it looks like as if you could take this island, turn it on its side, and look at it sideways. Now let's look at this mountain. Over here, we're at 0, so we're going to start our mountain down at 0. Then the first contour line we're going to come to is 50. The next one is 150. Oops. See why it's, I'm sorry, it's 100. No, that one was 150. This one is 200. See why it's important to use a straight edge and maybe some lined paper so that you have some control. And then right here we reached 300. Then we're going to go back down the mountain. We're at 200. This is 150. Back down to 100. And then down to 0 where our mountain began. If you connect these dots, you're going to see that this mountain was taller than the other mountain that you drew on your island because you went up further. You have another contour line all the way up to 300. So you're taking this island's aerial view, turning it on its side and drawing its profile. And then what you're going to be doing is answering questions on your lab report about what you drew. And that's how you draw a topographic map. See you next time.